Thank you so much for staying with us, everyone. You're watching the nation's news leader channels television. Let's go to our Abuja studio, where a senior advocate of Nigeria, human rights activist, Chief Mike Ozekhome, joins me from our Abuja studio now. Thank you so much, Chief Ozekhome, for your time on the program tonight. The Senate is perhaps maybe done, the committee investigating what transpired between the EFCC agents and the DSS operatives when the arrest of the former DG of NI and the former DG of DSS was attempted. So the issue will be what could have happened in the eyes of the law regarding this, especially when the EFCC that is fighting corruption wants to make an arrest and they say they had a warrant of arrest and a warrant of search. Naturally, what do you think has transpired?
Yeah, thank you, Sheung. Let me come in from this perspective. I always like to give a contextual background to my discourse and to say that inter-security rivalry is not necessarily limited to Nigeria. I do a lot of reading of novels, Jeffrey Archer, John Grisham, and you see the interplay of forces, centripetal and centrifugal, between the CIA and the FBI. But what happened in Nigeria was a king dancing naked in the marketplace, and it was obviously shameful. To me, it points to a fractured system of governance where there is some apparent form of rudderlessness and directionlessness, with these key insurgency and anti-graft agencies fighting each other publicly. It didn't do us any good at all in the eye of the international community. The question some people have been asking me is, in all this, where does the police come in? The Nigerian Police Force, established under sections 315, 316 of the 1999 Constitution, and those functions under section 4 of the Police Act, clearly have to do with investigation, detection, and prosecution of crimes. The police have been carefully relegated to the background. It is with that view that I want to tell you the various functions of the two security agencies. Now, the DSS is known as SSS, State Security Service. It's one of the three security agencies established by the National Intelligence Agency Act. The first one is the DIA, Directorate of DMI, Director of Military, DIA, sorry, Director of Intelligence Agency, which is responsible for military matters, detention of crimes of a military nature and of matters that are militarily classified. Then you have the NIA, which is the National Intelligence Agency, that is responsible for the detection of crimes and protection of the interests of Nigeria on matters of a non-military nature, which are external and foreign to Nigeria. Then you have the SSS, whose duty it is to detect and preserve the internal security of Nigeria on matters that are not of a military nature. The EFCC, on the other hand, is not established by the National Intelligence Agency Act. It was established by the EFCC Establishment Act of 2004, whose main functions under Section 7 is to detect and prosecute economic and financial crimes. Therefore, each of them have their own roles to play in the society. They ought to be sharing information. They ought to love each other.
All right. I mean,
they ought to enhance the...
So, Senior Advocate, it brings me to asking this question, and which is pivotal in all of this issue. There is a commander-in-chief who happens to be the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who has a report which perhaps they allegedly indicted the former DG of the NIA. do you think he probably was not aware of the EFCC activities of arresting the former DG of the NRA?
I think, Sheon Okimbaloye, I think what is coming to the fore is mutual suspicion and deep-seated hatred between the agencies. For example, you would remember that the main reason the Senate said they were not confirming the acting chairman of the EFCC, Mr. Ibrahim Mango, was because, according to them, they received a damning intelligence report from the DSS saying that he was not a fit and proper person to head the anti-corruption agency, and that indeed he was a minus and would do damage to the so that must not be lost on you in knowing how the EFCC, on the other hand, would have decided maybe to have a payback day by going for the jugular of the immediate director of the DSS, which led to an open confrontation, almost leading to bloodshed.
All right.
So I think what we are seeing is that the president himself, who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, of the entire armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, including the police, ought to stamp his authority more on the ground.
All right.
Order.
Okay, sorry.
To say, hello, you can't do this.
All right. Senior Advocate, it then brings me to this particular question, which perhaps you might want to anchor on before we close the program. And it is the issue of the fact that the monies that were recovered at Ikoyi, which were linked to the NRA, a lot of people will perhaps tell you that there's perhaps more than what the eyes could see in this matter. There are matters of security. And that's perhaps where these agency bosses had said, look, we cannot discuss this where the media or the public is present. Could it be that there are a lot of issues that we are not aware of that are playing out that are of high security magnitude?
Yeah, the NIA is supposed to operate in a very discreet manner on matters concerning intelligence of external nature or foreign nature concerning Nigeria. It is not supposed to operate in the public, for example. Likewise, the DSS. It is only of recent that we are seeing these security agencies. They are supposed to be like what we call Ikwawa in the part of the world where I come from. Ikwawa are night masquerades, night juju. They are not to be seen in the daytime. These are supposed to be very discreet security agencies that operate quietly without being seen, but can be heard. But the reverse is the case. Now you talk about money recovered from Ikoyi. I say, where are all the recovered loots? I'm asking that question. We have been hearing of recovered trillions, billions, millions of dollars. Even some money orphaned. Some found in septic tanks, some found in shopping malls, some found at airports, some found in Ikoyi. I wrote a letter 4 months ago to the acting president to tell Nigerians how much they have so far recovered.
I'm afraid we're
going to do with them.
It's unfortunate that
all this looting,
we're out of time.
To me,
we need to go.
It's like a tale told by an idiot.
Thank you so much.
And Shakespeare will put it full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Chief Mark Ozekhome, senior advocate, human rights lawyer. Thank you so much for your time on the program tonight. Unfortunately, time is not on our side. And many thanks for you for staying with us, everyone. This is the nation's news leader. Thank you for your support, everyone. And that's our show for today. Bye, everyone.